Welcome to e-learning. This time it's WAPER part 1. This time the problem is about dew point and it's WAPER part 1. So what we have to do is we have to find the dew point temperature, and please note the abbreviation for dew point is dP. It's a lovely autumn day with high humidity, and the relative humidity is 80% and the temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. Again, we look at the manual to get some help, and this time we're using the first two packages in the second row. Also be aware of the change of names. It shall of course be E instead of U. As always, we start with writing up the problem, and the most important information given in the problem is find dew point when relative humidity is 80%, temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. Next thing I have to do is I have to go to a table showing corresponding values of temperature and pressures. The table I'm looking at is a table showing corresponding values of temperature and vapor pressure. And I think I'm going to zoom a bit so we better can see what's going on. We are mostly going to work in the first two columns, temperature in degrees Celsius and vapor pressure in Pascal. And the column with vapor pressure in Pascal is where the air is completely saturated. This is what 100% relative humidity means. The last column, moisture content, gram moisture per cubic meter, is a column we are not going to use so much. So it is the first two we have to concentrate upon. So I'm going to zoom more in order to find my 15 degrees, because I have to figure out at which pressure 15 degrees is saturated. So here it comes. The 15 degrees Celsius is saturated, as you can see, at 1738 pascals. And this is what I'm going to put in the exercise. Figuring out what Psat at 15 degrees is, and that was 738 pascals. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to calculate what is P actual then. The formula to use is relative humidity equals P actual divided by Psat. So what I do is I isolate P actual, so I get relative humidity times Psat. And what I have to do now is that I just have to fill in numbers. 80% for relative humidity and 1738 Pascal for Psat. So I fill in the numbers, and it's 0.8 for the 80% times 1738 pascals. And that is close to 1400 pascals. What I have to do now is I have to go in the table that I showed before with corresponding values of relative humidities and temperatures, so I can figure out at which temperature the P actual will become saturated. So we're in the table showing corresponding values of temperature and vapor pressure, and I think I have to actually zoom in a bit and then move it, because I'm looking for around 1400, and you can see 1400 is happening between 11 and 12 degrees. So at around 11 and 12 degrees, this is where our dew point is. So dew point is between 11 and 12 degrees Celsius.